Hi everybody, I just want to give you an update on last week's. First of all, I sent you a survey and gave me some feedback, and thanks to all of you who answered the questions. Regarding your requests, I removed two group discussions from the list, and also I gave you the option to do your group discussion either uh, on Zoom or using Google Docs using text. One group already switched to Google Docs, and the promised to send my feedback to your group discussions to everybody. Before I used to send it only to the facilitators, so I hope that's also going to help you. Uh, One important thing is that I need to make some adjustments in the conferences. Something came up. I can't meet on November 10th. So I'm gonna go and change this November 10th. This is a long weekend, so November 10th is a Sunday and November 11th is a Monday, but it's a holiday. So I'm going to change this to November 11th. I know some of you have already registered for this. Uh, if November 11th work for you, you don't have to do anything. Otherwise, you have to contact me so I can make some special arrangements for you. I'm going to email these students to see what are their plans. Sorry about that, but I had to do this because this an event came that I didn't plan. Okay. The other thing, we did the quiz last week, and the quiz, when I checked the results, as you see, the results was very good. A lot of you got 100%, and the average was 91.6. And when I checked the questions, only one question had a problem, and that was question number 41. When I checked that, the writing style established by American Psychiatric Association is the style adopted by most psychology journals, and the answer is false. I understand why some of you may got this wrong, uh, but so I checked the textbook to see what the textbook has, and this is the textbook. This is where it talks about this, the writing style developed by the American Psychological Association, known as APA, is used by many publications throughout the behavioral sciences. However, it's not universal. Probably that's why the book selected this as a false, because it says that it's not universal. However, since I know where the confusion come from, I'm gonna give the credit to those who responded to this, but I may not find all of you because these questions are random from the textbook. So please, if you got this wrong, let me know so I give you the credit for that. The other thing that we did last week was the identifying parts of research. So for this assignment, I gave you an article and asked you to find 12 elements or 12 parts of the research. And when I checked your answers, the number one citation, all of you did it correctly. The title was also correct. Uh, some of you, instead of research problem, you mentioned the research goal, which is not the same. Research problem is the problem that they were addressing. The hypothesis was another thing that some of you got it incorrect. The hypothesis is something that they predict. So it's something that they predict, and then they collect data to see if their data rejects this hypothesis or doesn't reject the hypothesis. The research questions, actually, in this particular article, unfortunately didn't list the questions, but some of you correctly and implicitly found the research questions and listed. The research method, this is something that most of you answered it correct. However, you forgot to name the type of research. Usually, when I say or when anyone asks you what research method you was used, you need to identify the research method like descriptive, correlational, experimental, quasi-experimental. Some of you mentioned quantitative, which is not which is correct, but it's not good enough. So the research method was descriptive. The sample, most of you got it right. The variables, that was another thing that some of you mentioned some of the variables. However, as you see here, the variables included uh, participants, free time activity, and types of reading material. These are the two main variables. Also, gender, age, average time spent on reading for pleasure was another variable. Uh, the tools or instruments, most of you got it right because they used survey. Some of you mentioned like ANOVA or t-test or other things. Those are not tools, those are the statistical uh, methods, not the tools or instruments. And the last two, main finding and conclusion, most of you got it correct. And I didn't take points for most of you for the things that you did incomplete, because you're going to have another chance to identify different parts of research when you do the article critique. So hopefully my feedback this time is going to help you for the next activity you get it correct. And that's it for this week. Thank you.